Hello, um, my name is Jessica. Welcome to another one of my videos. Um, this is actually January 8th, 2011, and we are doing the part 2 of reintroductions, part 2, a little bit about myself. I still wasn't happy with the part 1, even though I shared a lot more. Um, I really, you know, So I made this part 2, but if you need to, check part 1, feel free to do so. I'm going to put the link right there, part 1. So go ahead and read that first. And basically, I wanted to do something about paths and roads and stuff like that. I wrote this a long time ago. I used to write poetry. I got a few of them. I titled this one, This Winding Road. I suddenly feel lost upon this winding road. I guess I just never realized all the things that you told. Upheld by my own seclusion, and now you are my best friend. I feel like I can only hope that there will never become an end. I have forgotten my sorrow, thanks to a friend like you. Teardrops from this bottle, which lead me with no clue. I'm lost behind temptation, and locked behind closed doors. Just something easily forgotten, or maybe something that I've tried to ignore. Now I feel alone. Maybe I should just let you go. Or maybe this is what I get for being lost on this winding road. And I wrote that a long time ago. I copyrighted it. I've had a couple published. Um, I just did a simple thing, but that pretty much sums up the way I felt growing up. Even though I had such loving parents, and part 1, you know, there was no dispute about my parents, loving me and stuff. They just, and some of the comments I got, they're probably right. They probably knew or suspected, or in fact, the first time I left my home from my parents, when I left high school, I told one of my sisters. I can't remember why or who, but well, I know who. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna get a sex change. I'm gonna do this. And this is my early before, and she ended up telling the whole family. And it sort of came back later on, because I was out on my own for a while. I was doing pretty good for myself. I had 20 acres up in Montana. I got it really, really cheap. Um, I just lived on a camper up there, but I think the payments were $150 a month. My property taxes were $52 a year. This was up in Kalispell, Montana. I lived up there for, gosh, 5 years, 8 years, well, 7 years. 7 years. And Jessica didn't live up there. Jessica, I was playing a lot with the cross-dressing, buying clothes, feeling guilty, throwing them away, getting depressed. I was drinking a lot. Then I eventually turned into drugs. That's why in the poem, teardrops from the bottle. Um, like I said before, a lot of people transition for different. Even though wasn't suicidal, I guess. Excuse me. I guess I was. I mean, because I was pretty depressing. Um, and that's a form of depression in itself. Um, but anyway, I lost my 20 acres because of drugs. I got really heavy into coke. Um, Before I explained my teeth, and so I'm getting those worked on, by the way. I had a filling last week, another one this week. My denture should be pretty soon. So anyway, so I ended up moving back with my parents. And that story came up. Well, we thought you would get a sex change or something. I was like, huh? I knew exactly who said something, and I'm like, no, not me. I have to try my head. Oh, I'm trying to think of the name of the show. I can't remember it, but I had curly perm hair because you couldn't have long hair, so I had it shoulder length, but it was all perm. I mean, I could reach it from the back. It was longer than what it was now. I was a telemarketer. I was just heavy into, and I lost that job. I lost my property. I went homeless for a long time. I went through a big depression stage, and so I owe a lot to my parents. But no, we thought you were getting a sex change. How in the hell did you find that out? No, not me. Because when we researched stuff like that back in the 80s, in the 90s, there wasn't a lot of information that there is today. Um, or at least we couldn't pull them up on our, um, old computers like we did today. And everything that pop up would be like she-males, drag performers. And I knew that wasn't me. I wasn't trying to entertain anybody. I was just trying to be happy, trying to be myself. And I wrote a lot of different um, a lot of different challenges growing up. And just recently, with the research, the hormones and the stuff like that, and realizing, hey, there's people just like me that are going through the same thing. And some with a lot more courage that are younger than me. And I'm like, holy smackerel, you know. And that's why I'm on this road and this path I'm on now. Um, but my parents were very, very great, and like I said, part one, I just broke up. I cried because I started to realize, I almost put a pause, a halt. When I found out my dad died, I was like, holy smackerel, no, this cannot be happening to me. I'm finally committed. I'm finally doing now this, now that. Now I got to go to a funeral. Now I got to see my family and my sister. And we got, and it's like, because he was in the house for a couple days after he died. Um, don't know why, but he was depressed too because of mom was passing. They were really close. Um, we didn't get the autopsy because my sister didn't want all the drama in the family. And even though my parents, like I said, they very, very, the question wasn't even there. They're very tolerable and learning. And I don't think they would have had a problem with me either. They probably would have helped, me, helped me with, my brothers and sisters probably help them understand a little bit more too. So it would have made my transition a lot easier if they were alive to the rest of my family. But I kept hiding it and hiding it. At the funeral, after the funeral, there was just a couple of us there. I couldn't make it to my mom's funeral. A bunch of relatives did. But when they both got buried together this last time, it was my older sister, homemade, and one of my older brothers, he's also homemade. They were there. They're both in Texas. The older sister is the one I told over the phone after this, a few months after the funeral. Well, anyway, after we knew as siblings we wouldn't be seeing each other that much because we all live. She lives down in Houston. And my brother lives towards Louisiana. I mean, Texas is a big state. You can't just hop, skip, and jump over. And our family, I've never done that anyway. I think they go visit each other more. They're more close. They just, I don't know. But, so, we all went out and had something to eat, and my niece was there, and she was like, wow, brothers, and all this. And the conversation went somewhere. My brother made another comment after that. It was like, well, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your relatives. And I didn't know where to go with that. I mean, I guess it goes back to the tolerable thing. You know, yeah, you can pick your friends. I mean, but you can't pick your relatives. Your relatives are your relatives. You're stuck with them. Um, but it was all good. It wasn't. I don't think this meant anything against me. I had my ears pierced. I had a hat on. And if you look at my videos, my hair wasn't even this long. When I went to the funeral, I went in my work clothes. I actually had to go buy a black polo shirt. I just wore jeans. Um, yeah, so. But no, I told my sister a few months later over the phone, I'll never tell anybody over the phone again. Um, because, yeah, like I said, you want the contact, especially when it involves your family. Hey, those earrings you saw, the long hair, I'm transgender. That rumor back in the family that started, my sister this and that. It's coming to, none of it's coming to true. I'm going through with it. She's like, really? Oh, and moves on. Like it's no big deal, but I would have known if I would have seen her, it would have been like, or something. It's, like I said, she's all the way down in Houston. I haven't seen her since. I call her every now and then. Um, I know she's busy down there, and I love her. It took her a lot more strength, being the homemaids. Um, they dealt with a lot of that. So I've had an interesting life, and this road and this path that led me here, I don't know. I I still got a long way to go. I got more challenges, more things to It's not just easy. It's like I said, when a person decides to go through this transition, they don't make this decision very lightly. Um, Lots of research, and it sort of goes back to I've always been, for a fact, known I was a cross dresser, but I knew it was something more than just cross dressing. I mean, I knew that, but it sort of kind of it was like, hey, go buy that dress, go buy a couple dresses, stick them underneath the mattress, when they're younger, and you know what, heck, they're getting too much in there. What if my mom breaks into my room and finds it? Oh man, I got to throw these out. Hide them in, sneak out of the house with them, throw them away, and then go through withdrawals later on and go buy more. And when I went back and lived with my parents the second time, I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to throw anything away again. Um, I have thrown some panties away. They obviously had some pretty big holes in them. We're not talking about the waist or leg holes. I'm joking. They weren't that bad. I still got quite a bit of collection. I don't wear half the stuff I used to wear. Like I said, I'm mostly jeans and shirt type of girl. But this is, like I said, this is beyond just cross dressing. This ain't, with all the research, and I mean, it's just like everything in my whole life's just catching up, and it's like, man, this is what I've been looking for. This is me, and so I know I got a long ways to go. I'll never be a genetic female. I know that. Um, but I'm allowed to be happy. I'm allowed to grow. I'm allowed to learn. And I wrote a book. I might put it up on my website sometime. But it was like 50 short poems. A lot of them were depressing. And I called it The Boundaries of Time, which was my very first poem I wrote. And it was kind of depressing, and went up and down, up and down, up and down. But man, it was depressing. I started on my second book a long time ago. I haven't written in a while, but I tried. The second book so far is what I got titled "Beyond These Castle Walls." Because the first one was "Boundaries of Time," now "Beyond the Castle Walls." And I sort of tried to take some of my depression and tried to turn it around. And this was about 10 years ago, and it's just now coming into play. I have listened to the words of a twisted, hollow pride, and the secluded diversions hidden behind the ocean's tide. I have seen it all, and just on the other side, something that might really hurt you, and something that I've tried to hide. The minutes seemed like days, and the days seemed like years. It really did not take me that long, but it has taught me to face my deepest fears. I used to be scared, and then try to run away. Then I suddenly realized that my words were here to stay. Well, I'm not the same, but I still will never change. It was the lost vision of hope that seems no more strange. I have faced the darkest of times. Now I know what it's like to begin. I have started all over. No more misery. No more sin. And so I'm finally back. And as you can see, I am not the same. For behind these, uh, for behind these castle walls is the way that I have came. I, I know that the ending was kind of weird. I didn't say they were edited. Uh, but no, there's a way that I can. And basically, I'll never, never, never regret my past, and that's pretty much what I wanted to say in this poem. I've had ups and downs, and everybody has. Um, but one thing I've learned and realized a long, long time ago is if it wasn't for my past, I wouldn't be here today. You know, um, my hair is just not cooperating this morning. I gotta take off my makeup too. Gotta get ready to go to work. I just, like I said, because it's part two, I wanted to put the same shirt on, put a little bit of makeup on. Oh gosh. But anyway, so that's a little bit about me and my uncooperative hair this morning. This is not gonna work. Um, I probably go on and on and on, talk about myself. You probably repeat stories that most of us have been through. My life was no more worse than anybody else's, and my life was no more better. I was growing up that way too. Hey, somebody's always got it worse. Somebody's always got it better. You think you're the best at this? Well, guess what? There's somebody better. And I got a long, long ways to go. I got a while to get there too. I need to start writing again, and I probably will. I've already started some, but it's kind of weird reading some of these even though they didn't say transgender, depressed, I knew what I was writing about. That's why I got all of. So my brothers and sisters, I really don't keep up with. I call my sister every now and then. Um, our, we've had a good family growing up. We just, it's I, my tongue's getting tied. Um, it's just, you know, just because you transition, you seclude yourself before transition. As much as I did, I always secluded myself. Even though I'm a lot happier now, it's just kind of weird. Maybe it's just wrong, or maybe it's just me. But just to come back to every single family member, go, hey, guess what? I'm happy now. I'm happy. And look, I'm a transgender. Hey, it just don't. Especially over the phone, that don't work like that. Obviously now, I'm pretty much, unless I'm at work, I'm dressed the way I dress. So, and when I'm at work, I tie my hair up, which I'll have to make a video about that. That's why I had to finish this video today, this part 2. Um, so anyway, I'll make another video another day about work. It's all good. I got sparkles on this shirt. This is the shirt I bought at J.C. Penney's. I said I just had to get this shirt, and the lady's like, "No, you can't. We can't take your husband's ID." No, I know. I should have got a larger shirt. It's a little bit too small now. It's a normal large. I probably should have got an extra large. Every shirt maker's different. I don't know. It's like you should buy a shirt. It should be a large shirt no matter what. I guess it's sort of like us. You get a human being, it should be a human being no matter what. It just don't always work that way. So anyway, I want to finish this video. This is part 2, the final part. And I'll put a little bit more about myself. I'll put some more stories in there. My parents were really great. My family was really great. It is what it is. It's all helped me. I don't regret my past one bit. Because if it wasn't for my past, I wouldn't be here today. I know some people can't take that in, but that's very, very true. I sat up on a mountain one time, all stoned out of my mind. This was long, long time ago. This was back when I was 18. God, I'm getting old. And I was sitting up on the mountain. I was, up in Humboldt County, California, the Emerald Triangle, the good stuff. And I was pretty much out of it. And I was like, you know what? I got to figure out life's greatest challenge. What is life's greatest challenge? There's got to be an answer. And, being stoned that I was, out of the world, whatever, I finally came to the conclusion that, life's greatest challenge is life itself. Sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. But anyway, just remember, you got to be true. You got to be yourself. And until next time, peace. And thanks again for all the comments. Yes, my parents were loving. And my family's loving too. I just, we're in different worlds. We're different playing cards. We're playing with different decks. I mean, it's all good. Be true. Be yourself. Peace.